Knicks fans, what's popping? It's your boy Simeon Russell, and I'm here to talk about this win tonight. Very good win. I'm encouraged that we were able to come back from losing what we lose, three straight, whatever it was, uh, um, and pull off a pretty good win, even though Hardaway is down. And but let's get into this. Let's get into this win a little bit, and talk about what's going on with our team. One thing we know for sure. Um, one thing that we know for sure is that KP is back, and he didn't look too bad, right? He looked like he needs to get back in shape a little bit, get his wind back in some plays, but he looked pretty good. So let's look at the tail of the tape a little bit. Uh, I'll bring this up, slide this over. All right. So the Knicks shot 52.2% from the field, 64% from three. And I'm going to say I think a lot of that is due to KP being back. KP, he opens up the floor so much for the team, right? KP is the way that he can spread the floor, the way that he draws attention, it opens it up for everyone. Joe Black, it's time, definitely. My man Tony Crow. You know what, Tony? Hey, check this out. I'm mixing that into my intro. I'm about to mix a new intro so we can do it live, and I'm taking Tony Crow and I'm gonna put Joe Black, it's time, just for you, because I love that you do that every time, baby. Um, so looking at some more of our stats, 42 rebounds to 27. That's amazing. I love that. Um, we had 22 assists tonight, 8 steals, 17 turnovers. We still need to get the turnover thing together, um, but we're getting it. We're getting it. Um, so I'm definitely encouraged by this win. Is KP an All-Star starter? Um, well, I don't know. Um, he might be. He might be an All-Star starter. He might be able to start an All-Star game. Um, they're doing the All-Star game a little bit differently this year, right? I guess there'll still be the fans are still choose players, and then you'll have coaches or whatever choose players, or however they have it set up, and then you're gonna have two players, probably LeBron and Steph Curry. I think that's maybe how they who they said it was gonna be. Pick teams from the players who were voted into the All-Star game. So I don't know exactly what the rules are. I'm sure once we get closer, we'll know. But he could be an All-Star starter. I think he's definitely an All-Star player this year, though. Um, but it was a good win, definitely a good win. And but we still have a problem because Tim Hardaway is going to be out for at least 2 weeks, and we've got to figure out how we fill out how we how do we replace him. We talked about that a little bit last time. Um, I want you to check out what Jeff Hornacek said. Some of you might have seen it before the game, um, but listen to this. Let me know if you can hear this as well. All right, just check out what Hornacek had to say about replacing Hardaway.
And welcome Welcome inside, everybody. I'm Rebecca Harlow. Now, as you heard Al mention at the top of the show, the Knicks without Tim Hardaway Jr. for at least 2 weeks. Let's take a look at the impact that's going to make on the team in tonight's Taco Bell take. Here are Tim Hardaway Jr.'s numbers, of course.
You see Tim Hardaway, what he gives us, 17.8
but what
points.
you have to remember,
He's
he's
42%
the one that
from the field.
loves
It
to
could be
get out
better.
in transition, so the Knicks will have to make up for
4.2
that.
rebounds,
Here's
34
Jeff
minutes a
Hornacek
game.
on
It's a lot
how
of minutes to
he
make up.
will approach the starting lineup.
Stress injury to his. Listen to what Jeff has to say.
We have guys that can play multiple positions. So, depending on the team we're playing, maybe it's more useful for a certain guy to be in a starting lineup. Maybe we're not set with a certain lineup. I wouldn't call it experimenting. I think it's just kind of matching up, with the other team of who they have and what their capabilities are and what would be the best way to go about it.
Several different starting lineups could be on the way, but as for tonight, it's Lance Thomas, who started in 15 games last season, averaging 9 points on 40% shooting. We've got tip-off next right here on MSG.
Different ways that they could go about it, different players that they could put into that lineup. What do you guys think? Do you think we should go with something consistent or base it off of matchups like he just said? I want to ask this. Can Courtney Lee continue to put up the type of numbers that he's putting up in Hardaway's absence? Can he step in and be that guy? Because we're going to need someone to be able to step in and be that guy. I'm not sure if Courtney Lee can. But it would definitely be great if he could step in. What do you guys think about that? I mean, he's been consistent all year, He's been, probably been our most consistent player. Yeah, copyright. Yeah. I didn't mean to. I should have thought about that when I left it playing in the background and I was talking. All I had to do was kind of switch over my scene as well. But glad we're back up. I have to check and see if they flagged me now. They probably did. Yeah. But I think I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna fill in for we're still kind of talking about this Hardaway thing, how we're gonna fill in for Hardaway. I'm hoping that Courtney Lee can step up and be continue to be consistent and to give us something. He scored 24 points tonight. I think he dropped the season's high tonight, and I'm hopefully he can continue to step in and be that guy. 14 to 20 points, but we definitely need other guys to step up. And I think Beasley can step up as well. If he continues to get consistent minutes and he plays the way he's been playing, then Beasley can be one of the guys that steps up and gives us some scoring as well. Now, a lot of guys, I've seen a lot of people, say let's bring Trey Burke up. What do you guys think about bringing up Trey Burke? I know he's doing his thing in the he's definitely doing his thing down in the G League right now. He could probably provide us with something, some scoring help. I'd like to I don't know. We got 2 point guards, and Jack and Ntilikina, taking up the point guard minutes. Then you got Sessions who get some spot minutes. Maybe he'd get a few minutes, but I don't think it would be anything consistent. So I'm not sure if bringing him up, what's it going to do? Yeah, I definitely want to see more minutes for Dotson. Trey for Baker. you know what, that could be. You send Baker down and let Baker play and bring Trey up. Uh, yeah, now Baker was inactive tonight. I don't know how many minutes Trey would get. But you bring him up there, and if he can do something, you put him in the game. Let him get some play. He can definitely light it up. Right, he's a guy that can definitely get some buckets. Um, and with Timmy out, we're gonna need someone who can score on nights when Lee maybe isn't hitting. Yep, we're gonna miss Tim's transition offense definitely, and that is something that Trey Burke could possibly give us. Um, Trey Burke could possibly give us a few minutes, some transition points. All right. See where we're at. Trade Willie for Noah. Um, would they have to cut somebody for? I think they probably would. They would probably have to waive someone for Burke because let me see. Everyone has a guaranteed contract right now, so yes, they would have to waive someone to bring Burke up. Yeah, they'd have to. Now, will they? Would they waive Baker after giving him 2 years, $8 million? I don't know if they would. If anyone should, I don't want to say should. If they would waive anyone, it would be someone like Sessions, who has 1 year on his contract. I think he's getting like the veterans minimum for 1 year, so that'd be as far as finances are concerned, that would be the less burden. So we'd have to see what see what the Knicks are thinking. NBA refs are weird. Didn't LeBron swing on the rim last year? You know, yeah. Everyone does something different. All the refs do something a little bit different. I did see Porzingis swing on the rim once earlier in the season, and I said, "Oh, he better watch it. He might get a tech." Luckily, the tech didn't mean too much. Right now, his trade value is low. Who are you saying? Ron Baker's trade? The knowledge seeker. Are you saying Ron Baker's trade value is low? I mean, if you're saying Ron Baker, definitely Ron Baker's trade value is low. Um, especially with his, he's not playing and he's getting $4 million a year. His trade value is really low. Yeah, true. It wasn't a long swing. Rest being picky, I guess. Maj G, I would love to see some moves at the trade deadline. What kind of moves would you like to see at the trade deadline? What would you be looking for? I would at the trade deadline. I'd be looking for a 3-man that can play defense and get up and down the floor, an athletic guy. If we were going to look for anything at the trade deadline, I don't know who we would have to trade. Courtney Lee might have the best trade value, but the Knicks better not move him. I agree, Captain. Courtney Lee probably does have a really good trade value right now. He doesn't have a bad contract, but we need Courtney Lee, right? Courtney Lee, he gives us a lot on the floor. He gives us veteran leadership. He's consistent. He can knock down a three. I think he's a top 5 3-point shooter in the league right now. We need Courtney Lee, and I think it would be a bad move to trade him. I've seen some people say trade him for a late first-round draft pick, but I think Courtney Lee is a guy that you want to have around because when we become we win and we become maybe a top 4 or 5 team in the East, he's going to be a guy. He's been to the championship before. Way back with when he was with Orlando, he's been to the championship, so he has some experience that we can definitely use. Which we signed Otto Porter. Yeah, Otto Porter would really look nice uh, in this offense with this group. Otto Porter would be perfect. Can't trade Lee. Right. The only way you really trade Lee, in my opinion, is if you're going to be getting something back that you just can't deny. To me, that's the only way that you trade Courtney Lee. Um, take a look at our payroll real fast. Since we're talking about trades, I'm going to pull this up. But yeah, I think the only way that you trade Lee is if you're really going to be getting something back good. In my opinion, that's the only way you include him in the trade. I think. Okay, so let's see. Since we're talking about the trade deadline a little bit, um, and there's Cantor. He has a player option. Player option. Whoa. Cantor has a player option. Joakim Noah, he signed through 2019, 2020. Um, Tim Hardaway, well, Tim Hardaway, trading Tim Hardaway is not even in the question for us right now. Tim Hardaway signed through 2020, 21. Yeah, I think Otto Porter he got signed to a really big contract. Yeah, Otto Porter got signed to a pretty big contract. Uh, wow. Look, I didn't know. Look at Frank is signed through 2021, 22. Well, he signed through 2020, 21, and he has a qualifying offer in 2021, 22. Wow. I didn't know that. Lance is here until 2019, 2020. Lance's contract isn't bad. When you look at it, Lance's contract isn't that bad. Kylo Quinn. Yeah, Kylo Quinn makes $4 million, and he has a player option next year. Kylo Quinn is probably valuable because for $4 million to get what you get from Kylo Quinn, I think there'd be some teams that jump on Kylo Quinn. Doug McDermott has a qualifying offer of $4.5 million next year, 2018, 2019. We'll see what the Knicks do with that. And then we look here. These are the guys on those veteran minimums. Jack, 2 million. Sessions, same thing. Beasley, a little bit less, but still $2 million. And you see they're not signed any further. Kuz is already gone. Between these three, I'll say at least one of them will probably be back. Maybe it would be Beasley. Jack Sessions, he'll be here this year probably, but then be gone. All of these guys here could be trade bait, could be included in the trade. To help another team free up money. Billy is signed through, what's that? He's on a pretty good contract. 2019-20, he's on a pretty decent contract. And this is the reason why people look at Billy and say he's so valuable. Because you look at his contract, right? 1.4 million, 1.5 million, 1.5 million. And if he can ever play up to the potential that we thought we had in Billy, he would outplay this contract quickly. All right. We got Dotson signed through 1920. So who would you trade, and who would you trade for? You got some guys that you could that you could use in trade to, maybe package a few guys together to bring somebody in. But I'm not sure who exactly is out there. I guess we'd have to look and see, who has, what becomes available at the trade deadline. But I'd definitely be looking for a legitimate 3-man. So Julius Randle, I seen someone ask, the knowledge seekers was asking about Julius Randle. Let's see what Julius Randle makes. Let's take a look at that. Julius Randle makes $2 million this year. Not bad. Wait, no, I'm sorry. He makes four. That was Andrew Bogut. Julius Randle, $4.1 million this year. He has a qualifying offer next year of $5.5 million. Okay. So then, looking at what Julius Randle makes, what would be an acceptable trade for Julius Randle? And then where does he fit? Right? Julius Randle, forward, 6'9". Where's he fit? I guess he fits in maybe at the 4 spot. Kind of, the same position that KP plays, so you're bringing him off the bench. I'm not sure exactly what you do with Julius Randle right now, because we kind of got a glut down there anyway. What do I think of Rubio? Rubio, I like Rubio. He can't shoot, but I like Rubio. I like I like his style of play. Pass first point guard, can create for people. I definitely like Rubio's style of play, and he would have fit in perfectly with this group, I think. I really think he would have fit in good with this group. I also like Beverly, because I like the way he plays defense. Right, but if we're gonna go get some guys, we might as well get some. I mean, we got some veterans. Beverly could be a good young vet. You don't give up anything young to get a Beverly if you were going to get a Beverly. Lee and Willie for the Brooklyn pick. I know it's a stretch for the Cavs. I'll be honest with you. If Brooklyn was willing to if the Cavs were willing to give us the pick, I would trade Lee for the pick. If the Cavs were willing to give us the pick, I definitely would. Just looking at what you could get for, a 1 through 5 pick in this draft, I think I'd do it. And not only that, you shed the salary to pick up someone who probably would come in and give you the same kind of production, and you're building for the future. But definitely the Cavs ain't giving that pick up, so I'm pretty sure that's out the question. LeBron James for Doug McDermott. Okay. How do I not have 1 million subs by now? I've been asking the same question. I don't know. No, I'm patient, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, Biggs, the gamer. I appreciate it. I'm patient. They'll come. I just want to keep it, keep it 100% organic and talk about the Knicks. Have fun talking about the Knicks with everybody. Reggie Jackson, you know what? No, I never really liked Reggie Jackson's game. Let me not say that. I think he's a good player. I don't like that he can't shoot, but neither could Rubio. But I like the fact that Rubio moves the ball. He can play defense. He might be a good guy that would fit with this group. Um, I'd have to see some more of him and see how he really fit in with the guys. You know, but is a blessing in disguise. It could be. We'll during this stretch, we're gonna get to see who's gonna step up and develop some guys to step up when not only when one of those when Hardaway or KP is out, but if we get into some really tight games and one of them guys, they're not playing well, we'll know who can step up, who can get in there and perform. So it could be. We just gotta hope that during this stretch we can. It's a good thing that we're playing a bunch of teams that are below 500. Hopefully, we can stay 500 or better, while Tim Hardaway, gets it back. Do I think it's too early to decide whether or not Bomber BCM? Do you think it's too early to decide whether or not this is a good team? I do. I do think it's still early, but I think we're in the stretch where we're gonna find out. One of my older videos, I talked about this 20-point mark of the season and how the next 20 games, which we are into these next 20 games, we're 4 games into the next 20. And I talked about how these next 20 games would really define who we are, right? Because usually after 20 games, that's when a team's weaknesses are exposed, their strengths are highlighted, and other teams are actually planning for you. In the beginning of the season, especially a team like the Knicks, people didn't really know what we were. And so things that were happening were kind of a surprise to other teams because they didn't know what to expect from us. But now there's a lot of things on film, and teams are able to game plan for us. So now is when you really start to see what we are. And then you start to see a team, a couple of teams over, right? And so teams make adjustments. Now we really get to see who are we and what can we do. So I think by the time we get to the end of January, that's when we'll know. Is this a team that we need to, we can fight for a playoff spot, or is this just a team that's not going anywhere? I would like to fight for a playoff spot. I think that does more for your development than losing and hoping that you're going to get a star with a number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 draft pick. So, do I think Hardaway could be the second? This is Ishmael Hernandez. He said, do you think Hardaway could be the second best player on the championship team? That's a really good question. Earlier in the year, I did not. Earlier this season. Right now, I still don't know if he can be the second best player on the championship team because I feel like, although I like to see our teams play in a free-flowing, assist-heavy style of offense that's moving, cutting. I like to see teams play that way. I think it's better for team chemistry, it's better for your defense, and it's less work for everyone. But there always comes a time when you need to have those players when the defense is tight, they're jamming your cuts, you can't move, there's holding and there's grabbing, and the refs aren't calling it. I think you need to have those guys that can get into that mid post, get into the lane, get fouled. And I don't see Hardaway as that guy, which is like Sam Smith says and GG Facepalm says, he's a more of a third scorer. That's what I think. I think Hardaway is more of the kind of guy when you got 2 top scorers that he gets his 20 to 25 points off of guys kicking out and on the break. Um, I just don't think he has the type of game to be a secondary, the second best player on the team on a championship level team. But on the championship level team, definitely a third scorer that can light it up. That doesn't mean he can't be an all-star though. He probably can be an all-star one day, even if he's not your first or second best scorer on a championship team. He can probably still be an all-star. Yeah, Frank looked good tonight. I think Skyline. I think Frank is getting more comfortable. He played 20 minutes tonight. Like someone else just said, with Hardaway being out, it's a blessing in disguise, and this could really help Frank because he's gonna get more minutes. He should get more minutes, and he could get more comfortable. And I think he will get more comfortable. He's looking more comfortable out there. Needs to cut his turnovers down, but he's looking more comfortable. Hardaway would make a good point guard. I don't know. I don't know if he has the decision making to be a point guard. Hardaway is kind of shoot first. That's his mentality, and he's a shooting guard, so it should be shoot first. I don't know if he can switch it over to distribute and run an offense. I don't know if he's that kind of guy. Bomber BCM, you said Hardaway could be the fourth. It could. He could. I think he could be a third guy, but even being a fourth guy, if you look at super teams, even your fourth guy is an all-star on some of these super teams. So, Package Noah, Clashman says, Package Noah, Beasley, Sessions, Hernan Gomez to the Grizzlies for Gasol, Chalmers, Parsons, and a second-round pick. That's pretty much a major overhaul. Because now it's a major overhaul because you're bringing in guys like Gasol and Parsons, who's going to need playing times. And then now you're talking about having Gasol over Cantor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot to move. Although Noah, Beasley, and Sessions, Noah has a big contract. He's not playing. Beasley and Sessions are here for 1 year, but you're bringing in guys that's going to demand playing time. And Parsons is injury prone. The guy can never stay on the floor, so I don't know about Parsons. He can shoot. He can play ball, but he can't stay on the floor. He's always hurt. He wouldn't cost a lot. Wesley Johnson. That could be. How old is Wesley Johnson? Should Frank start yet? I think he could. I think he could, but I'm more concerned with just the amount of minutes that he gets than him starting. I do want him to start because I think when you hand the team over to him, he's going to end up taking control. That's what I think. He's going to be more comfortable. But if he's getting, between 20 and 30 minutes a game, not this 14, 15, but, 20, 25 minutes a game, I think that'll be good for him as well. Yep, Parsons makes a lot of money too. Parsons is like $20 million a year or something like that, and he can't stay on the floor. Would I take a gamble on Jabari Parker? I like Jabari Parker. He's young, he's big, he's strong. He can play that 3 position, but he's also injury prone. But he's young. But he's a young guy. If you can get him cheap, I don't see why not. LeBron signing with the Knicks next year. I doubt it. I doubt LeBron signing with the Knicks next year. I think LeBron is probably going to stay in Cleveland. There's a lot of talk about LeBron in LA, but that doesn't make sense to me, right? Why would you go to LA when there's You got to deal with San Antonio. You got to deal with Golden State Warriors. You got to deal with OKC. You got to deal with Houston. Why go out west, right? Why not? Why not stay in the East? Um, Probably stay in Cleveland. Where you can have a chance to make it to the championship just about every year, as long as your front office can put some guys around you. But knowing LeBron, you never know. LeBron is kind of funny that way. You never know. Timmy can be C. Lee playing like a 3. Can also be a 3. Cantor can be a third best player. We just need a better point guard and a second best player, and we're there. We got a first best player, and he still has time to grow. Talking about Porzingis, so I'm responding to Tony Crow right now. We just need a better point guard, and that's where we got to give time for Frank to get there, and then a second best player. So I guess we'll see. What comes available if we, and maybe we can develop a second best player. Maybe Hardaway. Who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us. You know what? When Hardaway left, I don't think anyone thought that Hardaway was going to be the player that he is now when he left. So, who knows? Who knows what he develops into? He's 25. He's got time to develop his game. I don't know where we get another a second best guy if we're not developing one. Because if you're looking at our payroll, it's not horrible, but right now it's not really conducive to signing a big free agent. So we'll look to see what happens. Jahlil Okafor for Willie. It's something that I would definitely consider. I'm a little bit concerned about Jahlil Okafor's his character a little bit. But he's young. He's young, and of course he has that great footwork. We've all seen it, and he has he can score. He needs to work on his defense. He's definitely someone who can. I think he still has a chance to be someone who produces in the NBA. I'm just a little leery about his character. I would love to get Kemba here. He's small, but he's a beast. I don't know if we had the money for him. We'd have to make a few major moves, but but we do have some pieces that I think people like. What was that? Can you picture Frank with a Tony Parker career and Dennis Smith with a Westbrook Rose type career? I don't think Frank really plays like Tony Parker, honestly. I think Frank is going to be more of a Rondo, maybe. I think he'll be able to. He can obviously shoot better than Rondo, but I think he's more of a distributor. Parker wasn't really a distributor, but I think that he'll I think Frank will have a good career. But I don't know if he's going to be exactly like Tony Parker. Maybe a Chauncey Billups type of guy, the older version of Jason Kidd. He's not going to be what Jason Kidd was when he was young, but a guy that can run the team. And Dennis Smith with a Westbrook and Rose type of career. I don't think Dennis Smith is going to be Westbrook. He plays that style, but I don't think he's going to be them. Right. I just don't. I don't see the same. He has his times when he gets to the basket and dunks, but I don't see the same aggression as like when before Rose busted up his knees and everything, he was aggressive and he played with a nastiness to him. And I don't see the same thing from I don't see the same thing from Dennis Smith. Uh, could Coach Horner use Frank as a shooting guard? Definitely, Clash man, definitely. Um, it's something that we talked about in the last on the last show. I definitely think that Frank should be used some at shooting guard for a few minutes, and I think it'll help him if he's used at shooting guard because it'll allow him to be on the floor without having the responsibility of leading and running the team, right? So you can just throw him the ball and say, "Go get it, go score." And I think that's something he needs. He needs to have a chance to just go score. Let's hope. Oh man, yeah, Tony. I would love for him to become Ben Simmons. I don't know if he has the same. You know, he. I don't know if he's going to be Ben Simmons, but if he's something like him, a notch below him, that'll be good enough for us, I think. Yeah, he does. DSJ, Dennis Smith Jr. has kind of a lazy style, not as aggressive as those other guys. Yeah. You think it? Uh, See, I don't know. I'm not sure if KP is that kind of a leader. I don't know if he's the vocal kind of guy. Um, he seems kind of cool, relaxed. Uh, he likes everyone. Everyone likes him. He kind of reminds me of Melo a little bit, with his demeanor. And I don't know if he's the rah rah guy. I think he's is more, the kind of guy that leads by example. But you never know how he'll develop, especially with the players that he's around. If he's around veterans that are vocal, then he might pick some of that up. Right now, with him being young, you know, any young guy that's on the team, it becomes a little bit hard for you to have to be a vocal leader until you get a little bit older, and then guys respect you a little bit more. All right, that's cool, Clash, man. I'm gonna be on after every game, so I'll definitely be here, and I'll make sure I don't get YouTube doesn't knock me off. And I'm working to keep bringing in new things to the show. So I'm getting used to this new software that I'm using, but hopefully we're gonna make this thing real good. Dennis Smith Jr., Kyle Lowry. Um, I don't know if it's Kyle Lowry because Kyle Lowry really kind of can run the offense. Um, and I don't see Dennis Smith Jr. as the kind of guy that runs an offense. Bomber BCM, not a Knicks question, but do you think Tibbs is a player killer? Both Noah and Rose are washed, and he's playing a 8-man lineup for the Wolves in December. I don't know. I think he's the kind of guy that wants to go win no matter what, and he's going to play the guys that's going to get him there. And he probably, since he's kind of old school, right? So he's probably the kind of guy that's like, hey, you guys make all this money. I'm playing you, you know. When guys are young, maybe they can deal with it, but I think the league is going more towards, let's keep these guys fresh so that they can have longer careers, and players probably want to do the same. They want to have longer careers, and you get rest earlier, you get longer careers. Do you think those comeback wins we had when we needed to stop would we could have got with DSJ? Because people keep telling me our record would be better with him, and I disagree. Gary, I actually agree with you. I think if we had Dennis Smith Jr., our defense would be worse, and because what would happen, because he can score so well that he'd have to be on the floor, but because he doesn't play defense, our defense would be worse. So I don't think that we would have a better record with Dennis Smith Jr. I think we might be a worse team because when he's on the floor now, I actually looked at these stats yesterday. When Dennis Smith Jr. is on the floor now, his team scores about 3 extra points per game. When he's on the floor, when he's off the floor, they get. I'm sorry. When he's on the floor, they score about 3 extra points, but the other team scores like 14 extra points per game. Uh, and then when he's off the floor, his team scores a little bit less, but the other team, the opposing team, they score less as well. So it's like they have the opposing team has like a 101 offensive rating when he's off the floor, and then a 114 offensive rating when he's on the floor. Uh, so that doesn't bode well for Dennis Smith Jr. And I think right now, if the Mavs were a better team, I think that I don't think he'd be playing as much as he plays. Ariza, yeah, Ariza would be a good fit right now. And we went for the gusto way back in the day and traded for Steve Francis and got rid of Ariza. And Ariza would fit in good with this group. Even though he's a vet, he would fit in good with this group. I don't know if he's someone I would trade for right now. Um, if he was a free agent and we got him at a good deal, that's one thing. But I wouldn't trade for him. And unless we were a team that's kind of, unless we're a team that is fighting for a championship, then I'm not trading for Trevor Ariza, especially to give up anything young. But I would sign him on a good deal if he was a free agent. Doesn't Harrison Barnes play the four? Isn't he like a stretch four? I mean, if so, he'd have to come off the bench for KP. He would be a good fit off the bench. Harrison Barnes, I'm talking about. What do you think about giving our pick in the Chicago second round pick for a top 8 pick during the draft? So you say giving our pick, the knowledge seeker. So are you saying giving our this year's first round pick and the second round pick for a top 8 pick in the draft? Well, actually, that could be a good idea. I guess it depends on what it looks like where it looks like we're gonna fall in the draft. If it looks like we're already gonna have a top 8 pick, then definitely not. But if it looks like we're gonna have, if we were gonna be slated to have a late first round pick, then maybe. If we're gonna be somewhere in the middle, a 13, 14, 15 pick, I don't know if I would do that. You like? I gotta look at. I haven't looked at college as much. I gotta pay attention to it a little bit more so I know what we're looking like coming into the draft. So I'm not sure. Tony Crow, you said I'm so tired of hearing about Dennis Smith Jr. I wanted him too, and Donovan Mitchell was my number one choice, but I'm a Knicks fan, and Frank is a Knick. We're gonna hear about Dennis Smith Jr. for a while. You can bet some money on that. We're gonna hear about how the Knicks botched up and didn't pick Dennis Smith Jr. and all of this for a while, at least for the next few years until we see what these guys do. And then if Frank doesn't pan out, we're gonna hear it even more. Me, I don't regret. Um, I have no regrets in the Knicks getting Dennis Smith Jr. I like Dennis Smith Jr. and I think that he was a good pick. And there's multiple reasons I think he was a good pick. I think that Dennis Smith Jr. is the is I guess I should say the wave of the future, right? I think that Dennis Smith Jr. I'm sorry, not Dennis Smith Jr. I think Frank Ntilikina is the wave of the future. I think that Frank's length, his style of game, it's what we're going to see in the league in the future. The league is getting longer, right? You got teams like Milwaukee who got length, just like crazy length all over the place. So teams are getting longer. More teams are moving towards a fluent, fast paced, up tempo, move the ball type of offense. And that's what Frank does. And I don't think that this type of offense is going to change anytime soon. I think it's going to be like this for a while just because of the type of players that are coming into the league. Look, Ben Simmons is a 6'10" point guard. Joel Embiid can take you inside and outside. KP can take you off the dribble at 7'3", can shoot from the three at 7'3". Sooner or later, once he gets a little bit stronger, he's going to be able to pound people down in the post. So the game is going towards being more versatile. And, so that you have guys that can play multiple positions on the floor, guys that can guard multiple positions on the floor. And I think that Frank Ntilikina fits that mold perfectly. Where Dennis Smith Jr. is, he's 6'3", kind of a tweener between a point guard and a shooting guard. And his within the next 6 to 7 years, guys are not going to be looking to draft these small guys unless they're just an exceptional player. They're going to be looking to get long guys. So I'm glad. I'm happy with our pick, and I'm not looking to move them. Even though, Dennis Smith Jr. I'm not sure he has the winning characteristics. I got into an argument with a guy on Reddit the other day about Dennis Smith Jr. Guy said that you're just a homer. You're biased, and I'm like, no, I'm not biased. I'm gonna be honest. If Frank's not doing something, I'll say he's not doing something. But I think we made the right pick. Speaking of KP, his 3-point attempts got to go up. They're going in, but I don't like those long twos. I definitely don't like long twos. Long twos are, that's one of the worst shots on the floor. I think, if you're gonna shoot a long two, you might as well step back and shoot a three. But I think KP needs to. He usually shoots it in the flow of the game, and he needs to continue. Every once in a while, I'll see him force one or force something. But right now, I think he's doing pretty good with shooting within the flow of the game. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell was balling, man. I got to give it up to him. Donovan Mitchell was definitely balling, and he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good, I think, and he'll definitely be good. Noah would be a perfect coach. He gets the bench fired up. Noah would be a coach, an expensive one, but he'd be a good coach. Honestly, I think after his contract is over with the Knicks, Noah may just retire. I don't see where he fits in this league anymore because he can't shoot the ball. In Chicago, they actually ran a lot of triangle in Chicago, which I think is one of the reasons that Phil Jackson wanted to bring Noah in. And obviously we're not running a triangle now. And he and when I say they ran the triangle in Chicago, I don't mean from Phil Jackson. I mean with Tom Thibodeau. They ran a lot of triangle action, and Noah was great at passing from the high post. And I think that was one of Phil Jackson's ideas. We're bringing him in, but we don't play that kind of game. You need, like I said, the league is going towards being more versatile, and Noah's not versatile. So I think, he makes more money than the coach, right? I think when Noah's contract is up, I think he's probably going to be done in the league. I think he'll retire. Yeah, he did. Noah ran that offense in Chicago. He ran that offense. He made it go because Derrick Rose is not a point guard. I mean, he's a point guard. He's in a point guard's body, but he's more of a shooting guard. He's not running anyone's offense. Noah made that go. Now, you know what? Fire Kurt Rambis and bring in Fizdale. I'm with that 100%. I'm with it 100%. That'd be a really, really good move. Really good move. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I think that'd be a good move. Yeah, I'd like to see Kornet come up and see what he can do. But if you're going to, first of all, I don't think they're going to waive Noah. They owe him too much money. So I don't think they're going to waive him. And would they bring up Kornet or would they bring up Burke? Kornet, I don't know how it works. Kornet is a two-way player, so he can come up anyway, I think, right? I'm not sure how it works, though. Nick Lakina, yeah, the offense was centered around Rose, but Noah really was the guy distributing the ball. If you go back and look, you see Noah at the top of the key a lot with the ball, the top of the key in the high post area, really deciding where the ball is going to go. Yeah, Noah really did make it happen. Do I think Noah will accept a buyout? I don't know. He might. The thing about a buyout, well, I have to do some research and look at everything surrounding a buyout. He might accept a buyout, but if he accepts a buyout, I'm not sure how that money hits our cap. Have to do some research on that. Frank, Tim Hardaway Jr., Lance, KP, Noah could be the craziest defensive lineup we have. It could be tough. That could definitely be a tough lineup if as long as everyone could stay healthy. Right now, that's one of the Achilles heel of our team is health. Burke needs to be signed and someone needs to be waived to allow him on the roster. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. If someone was going to be released, it would probably be Sessions. All jokes aside, if Noah don't play or play well, I think he will retire early. He's a stand-up guy. Facts about two-way 16th and 17th man, but only a certain amount of games. Right. Yeah. The 16th and 17th man, they can only play a certain amount of games. But I'm assuming that what you have to do is deactivate 2 or 3 people to, deactivate a couple of guys or one guy to bring someone up to play them because you can only have so many guys on the roster at night or something like that. So they'd have to, deactivate some people to bring them up. Why Alpha? You said why do we still have Noah? Because he's untradeable. Nobody wants it. He's not playing. He's making $17 million a year. Who wants him? In order for us to get rid of Noah in a trade, we'd have to either give up a first-round pick or give up one of our young guys. And I don't think we're doing either. So the best thing to do might be to just let his contract ride out. He looks just like Rudy Gay. Body type and everything. Shoulders and everything. Well, we're good at the 2 when Tim Hardaway's here, but right now, we need some help in that transition offense, and Burke could probably help us a little bit. All right, Clash man. Have a good one. Have a good one. Yeah. But we definitely had a good win tonight, guys. I'm glad that we could, kind of pull it back, get back to 500. Now let's see if we can get above 500. Um, let's see what we can. Let's look and see what's coming up next for us. Okay, so coming up, we play Saturday. Am I right? Yeah, Saturday. So we got a little bit of a break. That's good, right? That could let we can let KP heal up a little bit. I mean, he came back, so he's already healed up. But we can, he can rest that ankle a little bit more, and then we play Chicago in Chicago. I think that should be a win for us. That's a road team that we need to play right now, right? Because we don't do well on the road, and so I think playing against Chicago on the road is perfect for us. We can get us a road win. And then we play. Yep. Now see good guy. Then we play the Hawks at home. Hopefully that should be a win. And then we play the Lakers at home. All right. So those we should be able to come out of this 15-12. The next 3 games, we should be able to go 15. Come out of this 15-12. Then after the Lakers, we play the Nets. We can beat the Nets, of course. We should be able to beat the Nets, even though it's in Brooklyn. And then we play OKC. So if I'm looking at these next 5 games, we should be able to go into not go into OKC, but go into that OKC game against OKC is at home. We should be 16-12 going into that OKC game. And if we look at the standings, looking at the standings, 16-12. Right now we're in the 9th seed at 12-12. If we can go on a 4-game, well, it would make it a 5-game win streak, including tonight. We can go on a win streak. We can move up to 4th or 5th or 6th, 4th, 5th or 6th, or I'll say 5th or 6th or somewhere around there, and put ourselves in a really nice position. And we should be able to go on a 4-game win streak right now. We really should. So I'm looking at these next 4 games, and yep, exactly. After Christmas, we start playing better teams. So we need to get some cushion right now. Frank breakout game is going to be the Lakers. I hope so. Especially we had that one guy at the last show who was talking some stuff about being a Lakers fan and Lonzo Ball and everything. I hope he comes back. I'm looking forward to that game. We're a better team than Indiana. All 7 teams up on top will be much expected to make the playoffs. Boston, Cavs, Toronto, Pistons, Sixers, Bucks, and Wizards are locked for the playoffs. Probably. You're probably right. We have to. I don't know who. For this 8th seed. It probably is Indiana that we got to take out of there. Yeah, we probably got to kick Indiana out of the playoffs, which made that loss kind of tough, right? Because we were up, we were up 1-0 against them, and then we took that loss. Now we're tied 1-1. Come playoff time, we play them one more time. We only have 3 games against Indiana, so we need the next one. We definitely need the next one. Do I think the Pistons are a fluke? No, I don't. I don't know. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row. Looking at it, so maybe we'll see what happens. Um, so yeah, these next few games, 4 games coming up, we should be able to get a little bit of separation, give ourselves some cushion uh, coming into that OKC game. See what happens in that OKC game. We need this cushion so that when we start playing some tougher teams, we'll be we'll have a little bit of cushion, to handle some blows we might take there. Frank is so long he could probably block Lonzo's ball from the bench. Yeah, yeah, with that delivery, right? You're right about that. Alpha, I've been over this a couple times. I don't like tanking. I think we get more from learning to win. I think when you tank, you don't learn to win. The players, they know that the team is tanking. They know that the front office is planning to draft somebody that's supposed to be the savior or whatever it is. Um, and the team doesn't play with the same hunger or desire or vigor, and you don't prepare the same. And I don't think that's how you teach players to win. It's all about building habits, right? You want to build winning habits. If you build losing habits when it comes time for you to win, now you got to change those losing habits, right? And it's hard to change a habit. You build winning habits. And when you build winning habits, and it's time for you to win, you already have those winning habits, and it's easier to win. And then you build a winning culture, and then it's easier to develop players. It's easier to bring people in to that winning culture, and have them turn into winners. So I think you try to win. If you get to a point to the season where you're just not a good team, then maybe you think about taking a different track. But I think right now you try to win. Gonna- True story. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, so this is what we look at right now. Let me see, let me take a look at the Western Conference. Hmm. Looking at the Western Conference, I mean, honestly, the East, we made some strides this year in the East. If you look at us right now, I mean, we're 12-12, and we're out of the playoffs. You have, New Orleans is 13-12, almost close to the same record. Um, OKC is below 500, and they're in the ninth seed. What do you guys think about OKC? You guys think um, you guys think OKC is gonna turn it around? When is the stream ending? Oh, I'm probably gonna end in a few minutes. I'm too clutch because I got some things I gotta do in the morning early. But what do you guys think? OKC is gonna be able to turn it around, or you think this is just them? They're not. Maybe they're not as good as we thought they were gonna be. You think they're a bust? I mean, right now, Melo made it worse. I mean, right now, I mean, they've won 3 in a row, so maybe they're getting it together. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, their bench isn't that good. OKC not gonna turn it around. This is a stopping point for PG and Melo before they go elsewhere. That could, you know what, Jeffrey, that could be true. Uh, PG got one more, got this season, and then and Melo has he can opt out at the end of the season as well. I don't think Melo's gonna opt out. I think Melo's gonna opt in and get his money, and then look for something else afterwards. They probably will be in the playoffs. Um, you know, New Orleans, Utah, Denver. They'll probably overtake those teams at some time. They're going to make the Western Conference Finals. You never know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, look, guys, it's like 12 o'clock. I'm going to be logging off in about 5 minutes. Let me see. We play on Saturday, right? And I'll be on after Saturday's game. I think. Let's take a look. Saturday's game might be an early game. Let's see. Not early in the day. A little bit later. That's what I meant to say. Saturday's game is at 8 o'clock, so I should be on around the same time, 10:30, maybe 10:45 on Saturday. I won't be in the studio because I'm gonna be taking a break down in North Carolina, visiting some family. But I'll definitely be on after the game. Looking forward to speaking with everyone. And between now and the next day or two, I got a new video. It's almost done. I'm getting ready to put up. So take a look at that. But I want you guys suggestions though about how we can make this live feed a little bit better. And make it real nice for everybody. But I'm out of here. And I will talk to you guys on Saturday. Peace. I'm out.